Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the flight deck. We're down here in Welland, Ontario, carrying on with our helicopter series tour around the Great Lakes. Today it's going to be just one leg on today's flight, but it's 156 miles. We're basically going to be flying along the south side of Lake Ontario. We'll go visit the falls, pass over Rochester, head out towards the beginning of the St. Lawrence Seaway out that way, heading out to Watertown in New York. But the weather's a bit iffy. We've had low clouds, bands of rain. As you can see, it's raining here right now. We are on local weather, so we're going to be dealing with that as we fly along today. In addition, we're bringing some troops along for the ride. They've asked to join in, so if we pop inside and look in the back, where are they? It's that one. You can see them all sitting in the back, ready to go and enjoy the ride for today. Alright, so we're going to hop back up front. We will come over here to our config, and we are going to remove the pitot covers in the back and get that set. So we can pull in the slide at the back. We're going to bring the ramp into a level position, and as always, the loadmaster and engineer will be outside for the engine start. So with everything removed, we are ready to get the aircraft up and ready to go. Now this is the new update, and it does have the autopilot, which we're going to take a look at. It's also got better start sequences, better sounds, and things have been smoothed out a bit. The autopilot is a very, very basic heading hold and altitude hold, and the terrain, the radar altitude hold is a bit up and down. The barrel one is pretty good. It holds it pretty well. And the heading one needs some work, but it will lock you on a heading. I find it best to turn it off, make the adjustment, and then lock in whatever heading you happen to be flying on. Prevents it from jerking about too much. But it works, and it is a valuable thing to use. So let's get on board. We'll get up top. You can see some aircraft up in the Niagara area, all set up there. We'll pop up to the overhead. First Officer Molly is snoozing down beside me there. But we'll run through our checks. So EAPS engine fans and doors are closed. External lights are on normal bright with both of the collision lights currently off. We're going to turn up the lights here, and searchlight control is off. Compass is free. Troop lights are good. Heaters are off, but all the electrics are off. APUs are off, and the generators are all off. We'll get the console lights up into that dim position. We'll just go across. Oop, there we go, hitting that mouse button again. Just slightly too hard. It is sensitive. All the fuel pumps are off, and the engine start process works the way it should. Don't need to turn on the right hand pumps when the crossfeed is on. It works great. Engines are all on stop. Everything is good here. Starter switches, we're good coming down. We're all good there. Transfer valves are off. We're all good down there. Hook release is set and good, and we'll pop down to here. The AFCS system is in auto and is off. Let me just grab my list again. And over here, the pull handles are all in, and we are good. So we're good to start the power up sequence. So we're going to pop up overhead. So batteries coming on. You can see the green lights have come on now. We're going to do the caution test. That is over here. Caution test on our panel. Everything is looking good. Pop back up top. APU to run, and we will start the APU. Yeah, sightseeing trip to the falls. It's on the way. We'll do a circle over it. There we go. APU is up and running. APU generator switch is coming on, so we have power off the APU. Hydraulic transfer switches are coming on. Parking brake lever is confirmed set. Back up top, FADEC power, backup power is on. Engine condition levers are both to stop. EPIS fan switches. Are now both on, and we'll give the troops the warning. So the bell rings in the back, lets them know we're getting ready to go. Looks like we got a little bit of sun here, but we've had some pretty heavy rain move through, as you can see off in that direction. Alright, so that's good. Everyone's aware we're about to start up. Flight engineer is giving us a signal. So the left main pumps are going to come on. Fuel cross feed switch is now open. That will feed fuel to the other side. Engine 1 condition lever is going to ground. And we're going to pop down here. We're going to be watching for oil pressure above 5 pounds and our N1 above 50% within 45 seconds. And we're going to hold the starter until we hit 10%. So up we go, and starting engine number 1. There's the shadow moving. We've got rotation. Oil pressure is coming up. We're through 10%. Starter will come off. There she is, starting to wind up. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Also, while that's coming up, we are all good there. So we're going to start engine number 2. Engine number 2 will go to ground. And same thing, we're going to go to start. We'll pop down. We're watching for the 10% on the N1. Oil pressure is coming up. And we're through 10%. Start switch will come off. And again, we're monitoring 45 seconds. We want to be above 50%. We've got the oil pressure. And there we go. We're through 50%. Engine transmission oil pressure is above 7 pounds per square inch, so that's all good. So we're going to pop up top. We're going to go into flight mode on both engines. Generators for 1 and 2 are going to come on. AP generator will come off. Hydraulic transfer pumps are coming off, and the APU will shut off. Alright. Pop back down, check everything. We're all looking good. The engine's going to settle in. You see the rotors are coming up as everything warms up. The engine's looking good. So let's check the weather down here in Niagara currently. Broken clouds in the area, rain in the area as well. Visibility is 15 miles. We got a 5-knot wind out of the west, 7,000 foot ceiling, and QNH is 2963. So I'm gonna dial that in. 2963 is set, but we'll be using this for our altitude hold as we fly along. Alright, looks like everything is up and ready to go. We're all balanced. Rotors are up in the proper positions, and we are looking good. So we can carry on. So pre-taxi, all the fuel pumps will now come on. There's our auxiliaries front and back and our right side fuel. All our lights are on. We'll make sure the anti-collision lights are on and flashing. We're in normal, and we're on normal lighting, not night goggle lighting. We're good over here. Floods are off. Emergency exit lights are armed. Heating is off. Hoist is all shut down. And good. And we're going to depart from here so we don't need the power steering. We will pop down here. We are going to tune on the transponder. It will go to TARA. That's set. That's our ADF. Oh, so it doesn't give us any other ones there. We'll pop down over here to our radio. 122.8 just for continuity, and our swivel wheel is locked in the back. All right, so getting ready for takeoff. We're going to go to manual brakes. Parking brake is released. This is the automated flight control system is going to go to both. Cyclic trim is set to auto. Power steering is locked and transponder is on. Ramp area is checked. Fuel consumption is good. We are looking good for takeoff. Alright, so we'll get the engineer on board. He's got the door closed. You can look out the window, and our loadmaster will be sitting at the back, keeping an eye on things. So we're going to come up into a hover. We'll move out over the field here, and then we're going to turn left, and we'll take off into the wind, climbing out as we go. That'll put us westward into the wind, then we'll swing around the airport, and we'll head off to the Niagara Falls area, flying over the town of Welland. All right, here we go. We are clear on all sides. Coming up on the power. She does lift the nose before the tail comes off because she does sit slightly nose downwards. So we've got to put in a little bit of back pressure on the stick. Go. We'll move her forward. Get her out over the grass here. And away we go. Kind of aiming for that gap in the trees there. And we'll swing around the other side of the airfield. Head towards the town. There's the town of Welland. Coming up. So we're going to climb to about 1,000 feet. And then hold it because we do have low clouds coming in. Try to hold around 1,000. there's part of the river that runs through, but you can see on the other side there's the actual Welland Canal, and that's where the shipping goes between Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, which is up that way. And we're heading towards that rain. That rain came through Toronto a little while ago. I was at Molly a little bit ago, and yeah, it got very wet very fast. Just bucketed down. There's the canal itself, nice and straight. There's that rain front coming up, so we'll get the guys to close everything up. We're heading towards the Niagara River. And then we'll follow the Niagara River up to Niagara Falls. There's the rain coming in. So we'll see the river, and then we'll see Grand Island, and we're going to turn when we get to Grand Island. Really see that green lighting on the panels. There's the river coming up. Not a great day for sightseeing, but it is what it is. You can still see the ground, so we're kind of Army VFR. That's Grand Island out there. The river splits around. We're going to make a turn here. Follow the Niagara River up. A lot of golf courses down here, as you can see. And we can start to see Niagara Falls come into view. We got somebody over at the airport there. So first up will be the Canadian Falls. Now this is a add-on pack I've got here, so it's going to look pretty good, much better than the default. We'll slow her down a little bit here. come in. There's the rapids coming up. There's the falls. See all the buildings, the hotels, the skyline. It lights up at night with all the colors and all that stuff when we come in. There you can see the water pouring over it. We've even got the Maid of the Mist down there, the boat that goes into the falls. You get a really good view. There's the buildings and the casino. We'll swing back around. There's the American Falls. And there's the viewing platform where you can go out and take a look and see people on it. Keep slowing down. Swing around the other way for another look. You see some of the buildings. Ferris wheel. There's one of the bridges. Can't remember what that, I think that's the Peace Bridge, if I remember right. Sheraton Hotel. And again, there you got the Skyline Tower, the casino, some of the other hotels located along here. Looks pretty good, even in the rain. Embassy Suites, the Marriott. Come around the other side. Sun coming out, reflections on the windows here. Yeah, looks pretty good. There's a couple of helicopter landing sites that they've added in around here as well if you want to attempt it. Okay, we're going to follow along here now, along the river. After it makes its drop there, it's got a few other things it does. There's some power plants down this way. This is the gorge that runs down to Lake Ontario. And you can fly under that bridge back there. I've done it. Not sure about this one though. It's another border crossing here. That's the Great Wolf Lodge, I believe. Family amusement place, hotel and water park. And there's the river, Niagara River heading down. This is a beautiful countryside. That's the American side on the right, Canadian side on the left. This is also wine country down here. A lot of vineyards, award-winning Niagara wines coming out of here. There's one of the power plants. Water coming in off the rivers and dropping down to the Niagara River. And here's the third crossing in the Niagara area, and then there's one further south at the bottom. So there's 4 in total in this area. A lot of cross-border traffic here. And you can see the landscape is starting to flatten out as we approach the Lake Ontario area. Work our way up to that 1,000 feet. Now the best way to do the autopilot, they say, is to make sure that your minimal inputs when you turn it on. So we're going to get up to that 1,000. I'm going to try to get our rate of climb, our vertical speed, zeroed. We're at 900-ish feet. That's good enough for a helicopter. And we're going to go barrel altitude and hold. Now it should hold our barrel. I've still got to do heading at the moment, but we are going to be heading on an eastward. So I'm going to turn to about 60 degrees so I got tilt. So I have more passengers on the left side than the right. So there's the exit point. Lake Ontario is ahead. So we're going to follow the coastline here. And I'll show you what happens. So I've got it tuned into 60 degrees. As we come up to the edge here, I'm going to come down, go heading engaged. You can see it kind of kick over. It's going to work to hold us at our altitude. We are descending. And it'll sort of try to work us back up. And we're coming around. Try to give it a little bit more to the east, and what I found is sometimes it gets a little bit jerky as it tries to settle in. And you can see our altitude's all over the place as she's trying to do this in the turns. So we'll see where she levels off as we come level, flying up along the coast here. We were about 940 feet. Let's see if we can get her back up to that. Now for speed control, there's no speed control setting. Basically you just use your trim for your longitudinal trim. And you can see how she's up and down all over the place. That's one of the issues with this. So what I find is the best thing to do is to disconnect it, manually reset, and basically this is for flying straight and level. You're really not going to get much better out of that. And then we'll just get the nose down a little bit, go barrel again, get it to hold, and there we go. So we're flying a heading. We're more or less going to stay at about 900 feet. And she'll do okay. But again, it will be very much here and there as we go. As you can see, we're kind of holding our altitude. Keep an eye on our radar altimeter as we go. As we fly along the coastline here. And now I can lock my track IR in place as we go chugging along. And we'll do the same thing next time we'll turn them both off when we want to reset our course and then head out and do our thing. So what views I've got set up here, we have our cockpit view. That's view from overhead of the co-pilot. There's the view in the back. Let's get the guys to open up in the back. We got there's our flight engineer's view out the window. On landing, he opens the door here and they hang out and they look for obstacles or any obstructions. Hey, Lemon Wolf, coming in. Out the back door, you can see there's the Loadmaster. Great seat. As I mentioned before, I've sat in the back doing this once or twice. It's kind of the best view in the house as you're trucking along. There's our outside view. Got a few of these set up. Get some nice nice views as we thump along here. We've left that band of rain behind, so it's looking a little bit nicer. There's the bottom view if we were slinging cargo. Of course, a nice above view as well. So do a quick screen grab here. And I'll fire it into the gallery on the Discord. Go. So yeah, there's a couple of good views there, and of course we can go inside. There's the troops we're carrying for today's flight, and there's the view from the front. All right, get our map back up. We're heading towards Rochester, New York. You can see we're over land now. We're down to an 800 foot above the ground, which is fine. As we're trucking along the coastline here. Much prefer going deeper into New York, getting into the hilly areas and seeing what's down there. You can see we have the rain to the south of us, but it's a little bit broken around here. Got 3,100 foot clouds in Watertown. A bit windy, and the barrel is a bit lower at 29.57, so we'll have to adjust that when we get closer. A few other things we got. We do have working elapsed time, so we can see which button is it. Yeah, there we go. There's our GMT. There's our local time. We're going to do our elapsed time, so start the clock running. And I think it gives us 2 elapsed timers. And we can freeze it. Should be able to reset. Should be able to. Different modes for our gauge here. We've got our VOR, we got our GPS, which we do not have installed in the helicopter. We have our TACCOM, we got our command mode, and can follow ADF as well. Marker beacon lights if we were doing an ILS approach. Everything is looking good. Again, our fuel tanks, total fuel on board. Fuel pounds per hour, so we're burning almost just over 1,000 pounds per hour. More than that, you can see our work in there. But our total fuel on board is all the tanks, or we can do, there's each individual tank. She does carry a lot of fuel, good for a few hours, but I always keep it on total. And it gives me the numbers. Everything else is looking good. This is our missile alert warning for missile launch if we're being shot at. So you can see the ground's been rising. We're down to 776 feet here. We'll be going back out over the water shortly, so not too worried about that. And there's no great hills in this area. Do love that deep thump you get with this thing, especially when you get a number of them flying together. They have improved the sounds with the latest update. So if we go through the EFB while we're cruising along here, we'll come out and look at Rochester when we get there. We got another rain band coming in as well. What are we at? 774 feet. That's good. So they've added a few things here to the EFB. Of course, we've got our map view. We scroll out. You can see where we are here on Lake Ontario. Currently set to go that way. This doesn't rotate, which is a little bit of a pain, but you can see where we are here. Is that the new one from the update? How is it? You can also switch over to Google Map View if you want to get a view like that. That's all good. Of course, it's north up. You can change that to you know, you're heading up, and there's our 92 degrees is what we're heading here, which is probably the better way to do it. Come over to load. I've shown this before. You've got our internal and we've got our troops on board. You can go external and there's everything you can use below, and it shows you where your hook points are for your sling and everything. There's a little, she's jiggling there, not sure why. It does this occasionally. You also find that it tends to crab sometimes. I think come in here and I just turn it off, turn it on again. This is the first iteration of it. They've said they're going to be working on it to make sure it's nice and smooth and everything. But here's everything you can hook underneath, from boats to buckets for firefighting, all kinds of stuff. Fuel shows you your total, shows you right side, left side, and all your tank breakdowns. It does come with checklists. You want to go through and use the checklist here. I'm using the ones that come in the manual, but you can use the one here. You can check it. Yeah, it's all done. Mission lists, if you want to do some of the missions that are included. You do this on the ground, it'll move you to the area where the mission is. It gets it all set. You can see how we're crabbing here. This is an issue that they got to figure out. It's because of the wind and everything. Doors, you've seen me use. Config is new. There's various things that you can change around. Things like the mirrors. I've hidden the mirror. It usually sits up there. Pitot covers that were on at the beginning. You can attach different items and antennas and stuff like that. And then on the system side, you can turn on certain things. So there's cockpit vibrations, so you can see it. Well, that's actually not bad. Which is what you'd actually have. You can disable downwash effects. You can bring in portable GPSs. You can also change the volumes of some of the things like the rotor slap and stuff. Documents, you can go in there, and then there's info about Miltech. So yeah, lots of information available. You like the Innobuilds, but the sounds are basic, yeah. As long as it's better than the one that came out when the software was released. But the good news is, in 2 weeks I'll be at the opening of Flight Sim Expo. Got some rain on the windows again. Looks like we're moving into the rain showers here. So we'll get them to close up the back again. So I leave, well, 2 weeks yesterday. And I'll be heading down for the expo. And yeah, looking forward to it. So I want to see if I can get my instruments a little bit brighter. So if I pop up top, pilot's instruments, if we turn that up, center instruments, and co-pilot instruments. What does that look like? I'll probably see it better in the dark. We'll see what happens if we get into some darkness out here. Alright, 740 feet up, we are using the new autopilot. Again, very basic, but it's holding us steady as we cruise along. Yeah, way better than the first one. Yeah. So we're going to be crossing out over the water again. We're going to be just north of the town of Rochester, the major New York City here on the south side of Lake Ontario. And they are getting rained on pretty heavily. Alright, so we got 100 miles to go. So Watertown is on the American side up near Kingston, which is the east end of Lake Ontario, where Lake Ontario ends and it all starts feeding into what becomes the St. Lawrence Seaway. But we're going to follow along the coastline as we do this, so we're not flying direct line. We're taking in the sights here. There's the coast over there. And it's going to cut back in and we're going to fly over, and Rochester sits right here under that rain. It's always funny being where we are. The Lake Ontario, Lake Erie have a huge impact on weather, especially in the winter. It pushes a lot of the storms that come across the US, and the storms all travel northeast direction. So they get up to the lakes and they bounce off the lakes, and for the most part a lot of it stays in New York State and doesn't come to our side. And there's been many times where we've just stood there in you know, light cloud or even blue sky, looking across the lake, and you can just see a big black mass of cloud, and you read about them getting 2.5 feet of snow dumped on them, and we don't get anything. So you can see it kicking again there. So this is one of the things I've got to sort out. Just reset. And away we go again. But it is nice to have, and it's keeping us nice and level as we cruise along here. And again, if we want to do anything, we'll go in and shut it off. Take manual control. Take a look in the back. There's the boys enjoying their flight. So we take a look around. I'm not seeing anyone on the multiplayer. Oh, there's one. Lex is real, flying a, I think that's the King Air. He's going into Rochester International Airport. Well, one, he's a little high, and two, well, he might be above the weather, but we can see the weather coming up, so we're about to run into it. I do like the vibrations. Helicopters are shaky. Shaky things. Supposed to be a light there. So you can set speeds, these things. So say low, high. You want to be this altitude, not below, type of stuff. Gives you something to fly to. There's the rain coming in. Alright, so the lake's cutting in here. And there's a natural harbor that comes up that they use. See the band of rain. It's always one of the coolest things I found flying is seeing the weather from up here. You just see like that wall of water. So here's Rochester. Again, we're going to go right through, past along the lake side of the town here, and carry on. Pretty much just going to stay on this heading, and ahead of us in a little bit, the lake starts to close up. So we'll be heading a little bit more towards the northeast as we follow the shoreline. Here's where the thing comes down slightly. Then we got that natural little harbor down in here. Speed and altitude. See how the panels lit up green. It's nice to have better lighting here. Not sure if I'm missing anything. I got them all kind of turned up, at least halfway. Doing this again. To the rain we go. So we're cutting across the channel that goes into Rochester, and the port is just over here. We should come out of this band of rain shortly. In fact, pull up my weather radar on Navigraph. Maybe not. It looks like we got some pretty intense weather coming up. So yeah, definitely not your typical joyride flying weather. See the clouds down there. The rain coming down on us. couple little breaks. This is fun stuff. Yeah, we got a break here, and then there's more intense stuff coming up. In fact, there's some pretty severe reds coming up as well. Well, the severe purples are further north, actually. They're up near Ottawa right now. They must be getting hammered pretty hard. But we still got some weather to go through as we move along here. So that was Rochester we just passed. They're getting rained on right now. We're back out into the clear, but you can see the next band ahead of us. Some pretty heavy rains out over the lake right now. The good thing is we got two big fans that'll blow all the rain off the fuselage, so that's pretty good. We're going to keep going on this heading until we hit the next little indentation bay, and then we're going to probably turn to a more of a 70 degree, 65 degree heading. Gives you a chance to see how big these lakes actually are. And they are massive. Everything is looking good. So we're through halfway, so let's get the weather for Watertown and we can reset our altimeter. So 26 minutes ago, VFR conditions, partly cloudy, or a few clouds, 26 degrees. Winds are 13, gusting 24 out of the west. That's because of the weather coming through. It says 10 miles of visibility, ceiling none. Just a few scattered clouds here and there. 29.57, so let's get down here. 29.57, we'll get that in. And whoop. Got dark pretty quickly. So we should be holding pretty good for our arrival. We're actually at the moment going to be flying through two kind of moderate to heavily moderate cells, one on either side of us. See you, Lemon. Thanks for stopping by. Alright, so we're looking good. Back into the rain. So overall, I'd say the aircraft has improved. More options, sounds better. There's better effects. There is more airport ahead. There's more more done to fix some of the startup procedures and everything, and it's more realistic. Need to work on the autopilot, but again, this is a first draft that they've come in for, and that they are doing. There's the airport there. Fly right overhead. Now, one thing I do want to look at. Oh yeah, the pilots are in there. Alright, so I'm going to come down here. Change our heading a little bit. We're going to turn it to a little bit more, about 70 degrees. Because the lake is going to start to curve up to the north as we go along here. And we want to follow the edge of the lake. Little bay coming up, you can see it there. So we've got one big storm cell out here over the water, which we can see out there, and the other one is to the south of us here, right in this area, which if we look over you can see that's all heavy rain. So we're kind of skirting between the two of them. See how that holds. Again, doing a lot of monitoring right now, watching our altitude and our heading to make sure they don't kick us off in some strange direction. "61 miles to go," and again, we're following the lake. We're not going a straight line, so it's going to be a little bit further than that track miles. If we come over here and open that, it should be 3. There he is. You can look out the side. That's that big cell we're going by. I don't know why it's a King Air. 350. Yeah, there's a King Air. They're not looking at the windows. I don't know if they're enjoying the ride that much. Well, this tends to do this sometimes when I change views and stuff, so not sure if that's having that effect on it or what's going on. Seem to be catching little bits of sunshine coming down, so some blue sky. That's nice. Oh yeah, there you can see that big rain head there, rain coming down. skirt the edge of it. And it was pretty torrential rain coming down here. Yeah, Kevin, it must be your end. Mine's fine. I haven't seen any buffering. No warnings on the streaming software, and the stream I'm watching on the other computer looks fine. You forgot to feed the gerbils again. Oh, do they have internet gerbils in Germany? You know, what would you have? Muskrats or? Through the rain again. Not bad. We can still see the ground. We're still level. Still tracking on our heading. So, not that you can see it. Oh, rainbow. But on the other side, you've got the north shore of Canada, Ontario, starting to curve down as well. Curves more on the south, but it's all starting to come together. You can see it here as it's pushing upwards. So we're heading up towards the point where she's going to close in. You can see that rainbow being formed there. Stuck in the past. Dial-up modems. Give it a couple more clicks over to the right or left, and then we'll just follow it up. Another batch of rain. There's another double rainbow. There you go. Look at that. Oop. Go like that. And you grab that shot. Flying right through it. It's pretty cool. I have seen the perfectly circular rainbow from the air while flying. I would think it was out west. We were going by some of these isolated rain things, and we saw the perfect circle. And into the rain we go. So the town at Watertown is not far from the Canadian-U.S. border. In fact, if you cross the border east of Kingston, which I've done, and you travel down the main highway, it takes you to Watertown. Which is near Fort Drum, big U.S. Army base and home of the 10th Mountain, which I've done some work and training out of. But it's close to the border. So we're looking good. 44 miles direct line to it. Like I said, we're going to curve up around the coast and come up to it. Oh, there's that little thing again, so we'll reset. Glad the altitude doesn't do that one, at least on the barrel. It will do it on the if you're on radio, because buildings and everything do count, so it tends to start bouncing all over the place. I think it would work better if you're out in like the desert or something. We're going to make a turn here. About 45 degrees. Lake's just off there. I'm going to shoot back up towards it. Come down for a fuel check. That's this one. So fuel's at 3,500 pounds. We're good. We started at about 54. So we're not even halfway down yet. You can see the needles. Once we get down to 22, it'll start showing the needles. It'll give us the warning as we're getting lower. Everything is good there. Another band of rain coming up. This one's a little bit more into the moderate rain. And we should see the edge of the lake. Well, there's the edge of the lake there. It is going to come in a little bit up here. See us coming into this bay, and then we're going to turn, follow up along the coastline here. Do love that sound. One of the neat things, the first time I flew in a helicopter with autopilot was the Griffins, which replaced the Hueys in the Air Force. And I looked up and I saw that the pilot and co-pilot were both gesturing with both of their hands. And I suddenly realized no one was flying this thing, but it was very smooth. And when we came into land, I could tell when they turned it off because it started to shuffle around again as the pilot was controlling it. There's the lake coming up, and you can see that curve heading to the north where the lake ends on the eastern edge. We're going to come up, fly up along the edge here, and our destination airport is up around there, where it says Miltech Simulations. I do have a bit of a crab going on. As mentioned, they're trying to figure that out to reduce it so that the aircraft isn't doing that. Bunch of beaches down here. 30. Final weather check at Watertown. 2957. No changes. Looks pretty sunny. "28 miles out. Back into broken skies, blue skies, and no rain. And the airport is clear of the storms. So we're just going to continue up this way, up past Montero Point. Clark's Point. We'll come in over the harbor. Down to 25 miles. Basically we'll fly up to the point here and then loop around and come in. The airport's just over here. Get some nice views down here. There we go. Turning on and off again seemed to straighten it up slightly. We got an F-18 off there somewhere going for a swim. Nice little natural coves and harbors here. It's Montero Point coming up, though it's not really a point. It's a very nice place here. A little natural inlet and then plenty of room for boats. Alright, so as we're coming into the airport, we're 20 miles out, so popping down here to the panel. Rotor check, our N1s are all good and we're looking good. Torque check, torques are good and we are looking good there. Engines are checked, everything is looking good. Oils and pressures and everything. Fuel consumption is checked, we have more than enough fuel. Caution lights, caution board is clear, parking brake lever is in, power steering is locked. And the landing area will be checked as we come in. Over some parkland here. We got Jefferson Park coming up, and Clark Point. It's nice to see the sun's out and shining again. Leaving all that rain behind. Alright, as we come in, the guys can start getting ready. That rear ramp is closed. We'll bring it level. We'll get the tongue retracted as well. Alright, we're looking good. So looking at the airport, the ramp is on the north side. We're going to be landing at the terminal ramp, which is in the southwest of the main hangar and everything, and the GA apron. So we're going to land there. It's just north of runway 1028. 15 miles out. Alright, let's get ourselves ready to go here. Yeah, starting to freak out. We're taking over. A 1,000 feet. And we have control. Once again. So we'll fly out to the bay here. We'll basically just follow this road. It's going to more or less lead us up towards the airport. Looks like that F-18 went for a bath again. And we're just going to follow the coast here. You see the lights from the airport now off in the distance. So we're going to do a flyby and we'll turn around and come into the wind. We're down to about 500 feet. to the terminal and stuff. This is the other runway. We're going to run parallel to the one we're going to come down on. And we're going to be parking down over there on the ramp. Back. Quite what I wanted. Speed coming back. Still not entirely used to hovering, but we'll get her down over here. Tried to get fancy with that turn there. What I am going to do is try to get her in that parking spot. 25 feet up. And we're down. I'll take that as not bad. It's sort of there. Alright, let's get the parking brake on. My headset. We'll get that open. Get that down so you can do his thing. Alright, and we are good for our shutdown. Go. Alright. So flight control wheels are neutralized. Trim switch is set to ground, that's fine. Power steering is all shut off. So engine shut down. Flight controls are neutralized. Park and brake lever is set, coming up top. Heaters are all off. AFCS switch is set to off. APU start. APU is on. Engine generators 1 and 2 are now off. Hydraulic power transfers are on. Condition levers both to ground. Crossfeed switch is closed. All fuel tanks are shut off. Our fuel pumps are off. Engine condition levers are set to stop. Yep, doors are closed. FADEC backup power switch is off. APU generator is off. APU is off. And we'll leave the battery on at the moment. Pop back over here. Get the slide out. There we go. Troops can get off and enjoy their day here as they get trucked over to the Army base in Fort Drum and they do their training. Thanks for coming along and watching. We will be back on Monday. We're going to carry on. We're going to cross around the tip of the lake and head back across the north side, stopping in Picton, Ontario, which is in Prince Edward County, a big island out in the lake. And then we'll be ending that one up in, I think, Oshawa, city of Oshawa, just to the east of Toronto. So thanks very much for coming along. Kevin, Lemon Wolf, thanks for coming and dropping in. And we will see you all in the next one. Take care. Bye for now.